All right, good morning. My contemplation this morning is on still on the policy of the government to grow export from Nigeria. And this can be, of course, template can be used by any countries actually, particularly in Africa. And today my focus will be on growing export volume rather, through production capacity, boosting production capacity. Because if we want to grow export volume, we must focus on increasing production capacity. But there must be a strategy to this. There must be a strategy to this because we should not just grow export capacity we should not just build our capacity in terms of production volume. We must be strategic. And I will look at it from two perspectives. Number one, we must be strategic in the sense that we have to identify commodities that is of interest. Commodities where we have a competitive advantage in terms of production that we can scale easily. But more importantly, the commodity will not be exported as commodity but as intermediate product. No. Data is very important because data gives clarity, data gives it helps you to take an informed decision. So if you look at the global trade volume, about $24-25 trillion. $24-25 trillion. About $2 to $3 trillion is about $6 trillion, or let me say $4 to $6 trillion is finished goods. Another $4 to $6 trillion is raw materials. But about $12 trillion is manufactured goods. I don't know if that makes sense to you. About $12 trillion is intermediate product. So you can divide into three categories based on stage of production: raw materials, intermediate product, finished goods. Raw materials, intermediate product, finished goods. Raw material, about $4 to $6 trillion. Finished goods, $4 to $6 trillion. In intermediate product, about $12 trillion. Actually, more than $12 trillion. I'm basically saying that intermediate product is in high demand for obvious reasons. Number one, many countries don't produce the raw materials. Number two, those that don't produce and are very concerned about the environment and climate issue don't want the raw material processed in their country. Meaning the raw material will be processed in another country. But they don't want you to bring in finished good to their country. Because they need to create jobs. If they import finished goods, they won't create jobs. They need to manufacture in their country. But they want the raw materials not in the primary state, but in the intermediate state. That is, in between raw and finished goods. In between raw and finished goods. Now, so based on this data, the support of government for processing should not be targeted at finished goods. And the reason is, we need to decide, do we want to get a lot of FX? If the target is FX, then we must be strategic. We must add value, but we don't necessarily have to add value to make it complete goods or finished goods. We add value from raw to intermediate. Now, let me give over 10 examples of raw to intermediate. From crude oil, for example, to diesel or petrol. From cotton to cotton yarn. Cotton fabrics. From wheat to wheat flour. From sugarcane to molasses or ethanol. From iron ore to pig iron, steel or iron alloy. From bauxite to alumina. From cocoa beans to cocoa powder, cocoa cake, cocoa butter, cocoa liquor. From shea nut to shea butter. From rubber to rubber compound or rubber sheet or processed rubber. From wood to plywood to particle board. From soybeans to soybeans oil, soybeans meal. From palm oil fruit to palm oil, crude palm oil, or palm kernel oil. From rice to rice flour. From potato to potato flakes. From fish to fish oil. From barley to barley flour. From limestone to cement. From lead to lead ingot. From zinc to zinc ingot. Now, if you look at what I've just listed, from the primary to intermediate, from the primary to intermediate. Now, why is this important? Like I said, the market is in intermediate product sales, not in finished goods, not in raw materials. The reason why many finished goods are not shipped is because many countries that will have shipped it buy intermediate products to process in their country. Buy intermediate products to process in their country. So there must be support for agri to increase production for the purpose of feeding the factory for intermediate product. And like I've said in previous video, we can make this easier if we want to boost processing. It's a lot easier to partner with a private sector who is already in the business. Don't start as a government. Don't go and start this and start afresh. It's not going to work. Let's partner with someone who is currently doing this. That means he already has a shea butter factory. He already have a cocoa butter factory. But it's processing 1 ton, 2 ton, 5 ton per day. Now we are boosting the capacity to 50 tons per day, 100 tons per day, 1,000 tons per day, so that it can accommodate people who can bring raw materials to that factory. So I have cocoa, I want cocoa butter. So you're telling me, okay, the yield per ton, maybe it's 20%, 30%, 40%, 20%, 10%, whatever percentage is it. So when I bring my cocoa butter, if it's 10% yield, for example, when I bring my cocoa butter 1 ton, I know I'm expecting 100 kg of butter. And that will be done within a week. So I can go and get as many beans as possible. So government is supporting the growing of the beans, expanding the production base, and in addition, co-partnering with a manufacturer, a processor, who will process for people. He's already processing for himself, but now his capacity is boosted so that people can bring in. Now, what this will do is it's going to increase the demand for raw material. In fact, it's going to significantly reduce the export of raw materials, because I know I will pay a particular amount per ton if I take this into a particular factory. That factory, when I take to that factory, they are going to process for me. When they process for me, I'm going to make more money. When they process for me, I'm going to make more money. Because I'm going to make more money when they process for me, that make me encourage to take it to the factory. Because the headache is taking it, building a factory. I have to think of power. I have to think of quality control, staffing, so many issues around processing. But if that headache is taken up and I pay someone for it, and because government is partnering, is reasonably subsidized, so that what is being made is enough to sustain the business. And like I said, let it be someone who is already doing it. Don't give it to anybody who is not in the business, who has not done it before. So the partnership of government to grow the capacity of an individual is to enable. There's an agreement that, look, you are going to be processing for SMEs and other businesses who will bring raw material to you. People can be on the queue for weeks. So they know in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, my butter will be ready, my product will be ready, and I can come and pick it up for export. So that means that there is a contract manufacturing arrangement, a central processing arrangement that enable people to come and bring the raw material. So that means as an exporter, I can invest heavily in farming, working with farmers, expanding their capacity. That means government can also make credit available for expansion of production. So we have enough raw material to feed into those factories. And then the exporter can also focus on market development. Market development. So if we want to boost the production capacity for export, the volume of export, we need to boost the capacity of those that can process into the intermediate product, and boost the capacity of those processing, producing, doing primary product. Miners, talk about miners. Look at mining, for example. It's easy for most state governments in Nigeria to go into mining. You partner with a Chinese firm. Maybe you have lead oil in your state, Ebonyi State, for example, Nasarawa, Plateau, state that have minerals, Bauchi, even in your state, what's the name? Different precious stones. Now, look at what this will do. You partner with them. This company you're partnering with, you provide the land, get the mining lease and the security and everything. This miners company you're bringing in, technical parties come to mine, bring in their equipment. You have a sharing formula, just the way we do. This is not new. This is what we do also for crude oil. Sharing formula, government takes 70, they take 30, government takes 60, they take 40, government takes 80, they take 20, whatever agreement you have. But whatever government is taking, they will buy off the government, because most of them also have people they can sell to. Some of them are even processor. They buy off the government and pay government in dollars and pay the state government in dollars. So that means the state government is supporting whatever they need, food, everything they need to run the business. Government is providing, but they are the one doing it. They bring in the equipment, but the diesel for daily production, the feeding, the accommodation, government is providing all that. As they are mining, they pay federal government the royalty, since it's the state and the state have an SPV, pay the federal government the royalty, then ship the mineral out. Or now partner with a processing plant who is processing from lead to lead ingot, aluminum to aluminum ingot, to now process into ingot and ship it out. These are just arrangements that state government can undo. It's amazing the fact that state government can make a lot of money. We've done this analysis in the past, even on radio, it's on our website, on our YouTube channel, on how different states in Nigeria can make tons of money just partnering with technical partner for export, and will not have to depend on federal government. In fact, I'm of the opinion that Nigerian state can make millions of dollars, can make billions every year, can make millions of dollars every month, millions of dollars every month, just through this arrangement. But because most state governor coming, they didn't have plan to grow revenue. They are forced to grow revenue sometimes because they need more money. Because they can do this, and it will be a lasting legacy that will make the state become independent of the federal government. This is my contemplation this morning as contribution to what the Ministry of Trade is trying to do to boost non-export in Nigeria. See you in the next video, and bye for now.